Some of us grew up without guardrails. No one showed up to teach us, to protect us, or to step in when it mattered most. And maybe you've asked yourself, what might have been different if someone had actually showed up when you needed them? Well, today's story is about mercy, not just for the recklessness of it, but for the overlooked. Hi, family, and welcome to another video. My name is Kimba Christian, and I am a writer, a Bible teacher, a wife, a mama of four, and most importantly, I am a disciple of Christ. If you're here for the first time, welcome. We're so glad to have you. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone else if you think that it could bless them. So stick around till the end and tell us in the comments, what's one moment from your life that makes you say, only God? There's so many in my life, so I can imagine that there are as many in yours, if not more. So I really would love for our community to get to hear about what those but only God moments look like for you. So today we are looking at Psalm 121, verses 7 through 8. And it says that the Lord will keep you from all harm. He will watch over your life. The Lord will watch over your coming and going, both now and forevermore. It makes me so happy to think that life can be crazy, but He's watching out for us for our whole lives. Anyway, so I've written a little personal story, and I like to share my personal stories with you, not because I want it to be about the Kimba Show, but because I want it to reflect how God has truly miraculously saved me so many times, and how He can save you too, and how He has saved you many, many times. So anyway, the whole purpose of me telling you my stories is because I don't think it would be fair if I told everybody else's stories and not my own, and allow you to see a little bit of my journey and how the Lord has carried me and kept me and protected me from so many things in so many ways. So anyway, I when I was 16, I had been drinking, and I grew up drinking and taking drugs, and that's what happens when you're in a house where there's no supervision. And I drove in my drunken stupor all the way from, I don't know if you know this location, but all the way from Big Bear, California to San Bernardino, California, in the middle of the night, in the heaviest fog that I have ever driven in from then until now. And all I could see was literally the front end of the car. I couldn't see the lights on the car. I couldn't see any of that. And so I don't know why I didn't just stop, but it was because I needed to be home. So anyway, I drove, and I just hugged the white line on the right side of the road, and I drove all the way home. I have no idea how I got there. I don't know if I was going 5 miles or 25 miles an hour. I don't know. I could have killed myself. I could have killed other people. I could have ran off the road and over the mountains, because Big Bear is a mountainous area. It's a ski resort area. It's a town. And why I didn't have anybody to say, hey, that's probably not a good idea. And truly, not one person in that situation said anything. And so again, God spared me. It's like an hour and 10 minutes or something driving on a regular day, regular sunshiny day, and all the twisty, windy roads and all the terrible things. I could have hit a deer. I could have run over the side of the cliff and nobody would have found me for 3 days. I mean, there's so many terrible things that could have happened to me, and only God. So there's moments that we survived that make no sense. I imagine you can run down a list of them in your heads. And accidents that didn't happen or that did happen and we were spared, or consequences we somehow avoided, roads we've traveled that could have ended everything, literally, like that night for me. And maybe there were choices that you've made out of desperation or silence, or somehow you kept the fear out, and maybe the danger wasn't recognized by you until years later. I know when I was in that situation, I didn't consider any of the dangers. I just said, well, it's time for me to go. And so I got in the car and went. And yet here you are. And it's not because you figured it all out, not because you always made the right choices. Excuse me. But it's truly, in my mind, I think it's because mercy met you where you didn't even know that you needed it. And God's protection, it's not limited by our understanding. His love is not like a reserved for the ones who deserve it, and this is the kind of father who covers only the deserving. Our Father is the one who covers us even before we ask, before we even realize that we need it. He sees what's coming, and He stands between us and the worst of it on so many occasions. And I wonder if you've ever wondered why you made it through something, barely remembering surviving. Consider this: mercy often leaves no explanation, no evidence. And maybe part of the reason you're still here is someone else will know that they can make it too. When you speak and you share your testimony and you testify about all the things you remember and all the things that nobody else can explain, other than the fact that grace is real, that God is still intervening, even when we do dumb things. And, I have to pause for a minute, because I don't think in my childhood that we were given the opportunity to realize that the things that we were doing were dumb. When you don't have parents in your house growing up, and all the, where do kids have parties? At the house of the kids who don't have parents home, right? And if we've never had them home, then the only place that people always congregated was our house. And all the terrible things that you learn from all the kids that they learn because they're so much older and they're in high school and I'm in elementary school, and you just it just becomes the norm. And so when you think about all those stories and all the things that just don't make sense, they don't add up, I want to encourage you to let it become proof that God still steps in. And it's not just for you, but it's for the ones that still are out there in the fog, like I was, hoping that someone would see them, hoping that somebody would say, I know that you need some support, and I'm here, and I don't know what that support's going to look like, but you're not alone. I'm certain that we've all felt that before. And I think about the verse in Lamentations 3:22 and 23. Because of the Lord's great love, we're not consumed, for His compassions never fail. They're new every morning, and great is your faithfulness. Imagine, they're renewed. We're renewed every morning, and great is God's faithfulness. And so, what are you remembering about the decisions that you made, that maybe had you had a mentor, maybe you had you had someone who could have or would have stepped in or intervened in some way, that maybe it would have looked different for you? Yesterday I shared a story about how I shot a rifle, my brother's rifle. I was 4 years old, and I was sharing that with my daughter yesterday, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, Mama, imagine if you would have killed someone. Imagine how different your life would be right now. Imagine how wounded your whole family would have been. Maybe your parents would have gone to prison because they exposed you to, improper gun safety or something, and you killed someone, and maybe you would have gone to jail and been in like toddler jail or something. I don't know, but my life would have been altered drastically. And so I think about how many times God has spared you physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, how many times? And if you can write some of your stories in the comments, one, so I don't feel so vulnerable all the time and you guys don't share, but two, because sometimes when you tell your story and then someone else tells their story and their story, then the person that maybe wouldn't hear my story because it doesn't impact them the same way, maybe they would hear your story and they would say, wow, I can relate to that. I understand where that person's coming from. And if they have hope, then maybe I can have hope. And so if God spared you in any of those ways, mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, then please write a note in the comments. I would love to hear them. And if this video has helped you in any way feel seen, please share it with someone that you know who might need to have this reminder as well. So thanks for watching, family. I'll see you back here tomorrow. We upload a video, at least one every day, so I would love for you to be here and keep walking with Jesus with us. And just remember that his mercies are new every morning, and great is his faithfulness. And he's just not done writing your story. So God bless you, and until tomorrow, may you be richly blessed.